Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. Now today we're going to talk about the TikTok ban and why are they trying to get rid of it, right? Now they're going to tell you all sorts of things. The federal government has tried repeatedly to make as if it's a national security threat, that they're taking your data and giving it to the Chinese government. None of this is true. They have no proof to prove this. They're doing it because they're saying they're doing it because they might do it. They might do it. Or they could do it. Well, what did you do, what did the federal government do when back in 2016 Facebook sold our data to Cambridge Analytica, who then sold it to the Russian government? What did they do to Facebook? Were there any fines or punishments for Facebook? Did the federal government ban Facebook? No. No, they didn't. Because they knew Mark Zuckerberg would bow down at their feet and do their bidding. Everyone knew it. The federal government knew it. People on Facebook knew it. People in Russia knew it. Nothing came of that. Right? When Twitter was bought out by Elon Musk, and you saw an epic rise in the amount of anti-Semitic and Nazi propaganda on that app, did the government step in and say, stop that? No. Did the government even try to do anything about it? No. When Elon Musk got rid of the entire department at Twitter that was aimed at stopping the exploitation of children, did the U.S. government say anything about it? Did they attempt a ban? No. No, they didn't. But let's see. TikTok, owned by ByteDance, ByteDance was founded like 2012. TikTok came out in like 2015. And it quickly became a favorite amongst younger people. But then you get closer to the pandemic, and as the pandemic gets underway, people my age needed something to do. And so we turned to TikTok. When I first downloaded TikTok, I downloaded it because I was like, well, I'm bored. It looks stupid enough to entertain me. So I turned it on. And initially I didn't care much for it. It wasn't all that interesting to me immediately. It just seemed like a fun place to watch people do dance videos and post videos of the cats. That's what I thought of TikTok when I first started watching. And then I found a lot of really good people on that app. A lot of really good people sharing information I didn't know. Opened my eyes to a lot of stuff that I didn't see before. You had people like Conscious Lee on the app who were talking about, the plight of African Americans and of the indigenous people of this country. I came across a lot of indigenous people who taught me a lot about their culture. And these people have turned a lot of people into people that actually care about these other people. Right? They actually care now. And I think that's part of the problem. Because I think if you go from what happened in Gaza to everything that's gone on in the U.S., the reason they want to ban it is because it's information. It's facts. It's truth. They can show you in real time what's happening. And I don't think the government wants us to see that. They don't want us to know what we did to the indigenous people of this land. They don't want us to know what the government has done to the African Americans of this land. Right? They don't want you to see the evils that our government has brought to the other parts of the world. They don't want you to see this because they don't want you to learn about the terrible, horrible things that America has done And I don't think we need to recap here everything we've done. And I'm not going to do that here. But the fact is, we, the collective we, as in what our government has done in our name, we have done some terrible and disgusting, bigoted things in our history. And I don't believe the federal government wants us to know all about it. I believe that they're doing this in part because they're scared. We're scared that we'll hold the government accountable for what it has done. And I don't believe it matters if you're left or right. I don't think it matters. I believe that no matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican, a leftist, fascist, I think you should support the existence of TikTok. Because TikTok allows us to get our messages out to people. Right? To me, it's about free speech. Now they're going to say, oh, that it doesn't really affect our free speech because we have other places we could go. But it doesn't work the same, right? I had a friend the other day ask me, well, why don't people just go to Instagram? What's wrong with that? Because Instagram doesn't work the same way. YouTube Shorts doesn't work the same way. YouTube doesn't work the same way in general. Right? Instagram, you can put some short form content on there, sure. But people see you one time, then they never see it again. It doesn't push the information out to other people. Other people won't see it. I have posted probably hundreds of things at this point on Instagram, and I get maybe one view, and half the time that view's probably me. So clearly, it's not the information is not pushed. Just like here on YouTube. If YouTube doesn't like something you're posting, or the government has told them to not allow something that you're posting, YouTube will squash it. Like this video here will probably get 1, 2, maybe 3 views. Because they're not going to want you to hear what's going on. What is actually behind the TikTok ban. But the TikTok ban is being put in place because they don't want us to have access to this quick information. They are terrified. And I believe we should all stand up and fight. Because this, to me, is a blatant attack on the First Amendment. And I don't care what anyone's going to tell me. They can sit there and tell me in the comments how it's not. But what you're doing is quashing dissent. Because the people on TikTok are very much opposed to what's going on in Gaza. They're opposed to what's been happening to Native Americans. And it's very quick to call out when police do something terrible to black men who are just driving while black. And I believe that's all it's about. I believe it's all about their fear that we're going to find out other things they're doing. And then it's going to go just like, a flash across the world. So, if you're using TikTok and you have any information about what our government has or maybe planning to do, spread like wildfire around the globe. Use TikTok, get it out there. I'm absolutely just done with what our government is doing. Now, there are some ways that the TikTok ban could be stopped. The Supreme Court has a case in front of it right now where they could stop the ban if they wanted to. They probably won't, based on the arguments the other day. And then there's also been reports that they are in the works of possibly selling to a U.S. firm. Although ByteDance has said this is not happening because one of the reports was that Elon Musk was set to buy it, which would destroy the app just as much as if a ban took place. So it really wouldn't change anything. But there have been reports that they have received offers from like the Project Liberty and a few other organizations to try to, buy their American assets so TikTok can continue. Lastly, Donald Trump has a way on January 20th that he could allow it to continue. It's very possible. Donald Trump, according to what I have read, there is a 5-year window for that ban to take place. And he could delay it by not enforcing it. He could force there to be non-enforcement of the law while he's in office, where he can convince Republicans to unban it. As of right now, though, the most likely scenario is that it's banned. But I do know that 2 Democratic congressmen have asked the president and have their colleagues in Congress to extend the ban another 90 days to give TikTok a little more time to try to divest from ByteDance. So we will see what happens in the coming days, but I can tell you it doesn't look good, and I'm fairly certain TikTok will be gone on Sunday. But anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed the content. If you have, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you don't miss anything here at Unapologetically Progressive, and I'll see you down the road.